Hello, my name is Ben Tripp, and this is my website for my project, with my topic being virtual reality. So here on my cover page, you can see my background over here, my abstract down here, and my table of contents, as well as my animation going on, with my logo included right there. So making this page, I used the heading tags to make the virtual reality title and my name. Here I used the script tag in order for the viewer to see the current date at whatever day it is. Heading tags for abstract and virtual reality, in which the abstract I talk about why I chose virtual reality and what exactly it is. And here I have my table of contents, in which I use the unorganized list tag to number and list the pages to my website, as well as link them using the href tag to each page. For my background, I used a website called Pixlr, and you can see the edges here. I started with a base background picture of fireworks, while I added a picture of 3 different people using virtual reality headsets in the background, which you can't exactly see. And at the top, you can see coming out here, a text box that says virtual reality at the top. So for my animation, I also used a website online which put 3 images together for me in the form of a GIF. And this image right here precisely is my logo, the one that says virtual reality. And I did that on Pixlr also by making a border first, adding a text to show virtual reality, my topic, and a base image using the VR headset. So as we look into the first page of my website, we can see that I have my banner here that links back to the home page. I have that on every page. A background and my buttons to go to the previous section and next section for each of the websites. So on the purpose website, I have my first prompt that states, indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its intended purpose. So here I talked about how virtual reality has not necessarily solved any problems yet, but has been more made for entertainment as of now, as the technology is recently being developed, but it has so much time to develop that there's almost countless ways that virtual reality will be able to solve problems in the near future. For my second page, which is my effects and impacts page, I have my second prompt, which says explain a benefit and or harmful effect of the innovation. So again, I talked about the usefulness of potential simulations and current simulations that are on virtual reality headsets. As the technology develops, I believe that there will be a lot more realistic simulations that will actually help people learn piloting, sailing, driving, and many other ways for things that can be simulated. For the next prompt, I have explained the impact that the innovation has had on society, economy, and or culture. So mainly I talked about society and culture as it's been a new technology that's developed that is mainly used for entertainment purpose, in which you can play games, watch movies, watch videos, interact with your own world, basically. For the next prompt, prompt D, it says indicate one field other than computer science which the innovation has impacted or has the potential to impact. Again, I talked about entertainment for the most part because the headsets nowadays mainly just are able to play games, watch movies, and run simulations, as well as do expected things like browse the internet and take pictures. Over here, I also have a graph that indicates a survey I did in which I had people in my class rank on a scale of 1 to 5 how much VR has impacted them. So here I have the age of each person that took the survey and what they ranked, with the majority being 1s and 2s, with very few 3s and 4s because of how recent virtual reality is and how not many people have gotten the chance to acquire it or try it yet. At the bottom right, I have the video I made for a previous assignment in which I recorded with my cell phone and edited using the wevideo.com editor.
about anything. Possibilities are pretty endless. It can be beneficial for future drivers and pilots because they can do simulations, and then there's more likely to be less accidents and plane crashes and stuff. Yo, this is crazy. What is even going on? This is so weird. I'm like tripping right now.
So that concludes my video, in which I had a friend try out my VR headset and ask them a few questions about what virtual reality is to them and what it can be. For the next page on my website, I have the technical impacts page, which includes 2 more prompts. Prompt E stating describe how a user interacts with the innovation. So here I use mainly an online article that described the nitty-gritty of how we actually use virtual reality devices, because there's so many different devices that are produced by companies such as Sony, Samsung, and Oculus. But in this article written by Charlie Fink, he describes just exactly how you're viewing the environment you're viewing when you're using a virtual reality headset. So with the 2 lenses that are used in a headset, he goes on to state, these lenses focus and reshape the picture for each eye and create a stereoscopic 3D image by angling the 2D images to mimic how each of our 2 eyes views the world ever so slightly differently. Now, since with virtual reality headsets, the movement of your head is very important because the screen will follow wherever you're looking. He goes on to explain this by saying, a system called 6 degrees of freedom plots your head in terms of x, y, and z axis to measure head movements forward, backwards, and side to side. So with all this technology, the image that we see from virtual reality can alter using our head movements and also our eye movements. So that's pretty much how you interact with a virtual reality headset. So for the next prompt, detail how the innovations technology incorporates at least one of the big ideas of abstraction, algorithms, programming, and/or the internet to accomplish its purpose. So here I talked about how programming language is super important to virtual reality for their applications, including games, internet, and viewing videos, movies, anything on YouTube, or anything you download. So I mainly talked about the programming language C#, which is the most commonly used language for programming games for virtual reality. And the reason I talked about programming language is because the language for virtual reality has to be so much more advanced, because there's so many more aspects of using a video on virtual reality rather than just looking it up on a computer or laptop. So I also talked about other languages such as C++, C++, Java, and Python, which virtual reality applications use at the same time, but most commonly use C#. So for this page, we have our relationship to data page, which has our final 2 prompts. The first prompt stating describe how the innovation consumes data as input, produces data as output, and/or transfers data. So here I talked about the differences between processing data between a virtual reality headset and a laptop. So while with a laptop, the processor is basically just the computer itself, in virtual reality, the processor is more realistically the person using it, because we can adapt to the environment of virtual reality. We are the ones who control what happens in the world of virtual reality, because with our head movements, our eye movements, our hand movements, if we have a remote, we are changing the reality ahead of us by ourselves, and without objects such as like a keyboard or a mouse. We're all using it with just movement of our own body. So I talked about how input for virtual reality includes our head movements, the tracking of our eyes with certain headsets, and if you have a touchpad on your headset, the actual touchpad and touching it itself. Then producing data is just what the outcome is once you move. It's the environment you're seeing, pretty much, the immersive virtual reality environment. is exactly how I put it in here to describe the output of using our head movement or eye tracking. And for the final prompt, I have prompt H, which states describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, or data security concern related to the innovation. So here I actually looked up a website that talked on this exact topic about how data files being created by all these companies that are creating virtual reality headsets is already getting out of control in the very start of virtual reality. Matt Starr was the author of this article, and he stated that the key to storing VR data is finding a solution that allows companies to access and tinker with the files, then archive them economically to protect and preserve the data forever. While it seems easy to say, there's not actually a way that people have found to do this with data files in virtual reality. So the main concern for data storage is just that there's eventually going to be too much, and we're going to have to find a way to store all this data economically. And on my very final page, I have the references I used throughout my prompts. I have 4 written by Charlie Fink, Mark Delachucks, and Matt Starr, while one of the articles just was a Wikipedia page completely based on virtual reality. And as you'll see, following one of these links, this brings you to the Matt Starr article that I wrote about virtual reality presenting data storage challenges, and where he talks about just how to store this data as best as possible. So this is my whole website. I hope you enjoyed viewing it, and I hope you will one day look at it yourself. Thank you. This is the end of my video presentation. Thank you for listening, and feel free to go to the link at the top to learn more information about virtual reality. Thank you.